Greetings, Cleveland, and welcome to Creative Focus, the show that illuminates some of Cleveland's most talented and creative artists across the genres of dance, film, music, theater, and visual arts. I'm your host, Cornell Calhoun III, and I am thrilled to have as my guest today on Creative Focus, award-winning artist, art educator, therapist, and the executive director of Sankofa Fine Plus, Miss Robin Robinson. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's chop it up.
That's why I'm here.
Start with, tell us your artistic journey. What was that like?
Personally or for this?
Personally.
Okay, well, personally, I've been an artist all my life. I have, in different incarnations of my artistic journey, I've been a photojournalist. I've been an art educator. I'm a retired art teacher. I have an art therapist. I have done personal art and group art activities, and now I'm the executive director of Sankofa Fine Art Plus.
And what's the mission of Sankofa?
The mission of Sankofa is actually to bring art and the appreciation of art to the communities through the local artists, the local ethnic artists, and to help them with their careers and to just bring that education of art, of fine art, to the communities. Now, over the last 10 years of Sankofa, we've gone from an expo type of situation to have, gallery shows and things like that, into public art, bringing the art into communities to give them a voice in what their community is all about.
Talk a little bit about art in healing, because that's in a lot of respects that's a new concept. But I know you are an advocate for that.
Yes.
Explain that a little bit.
Okay. Well, it seems like a new concept, but it really isn't. It shouldn't be. So art has always, the color, the excitement of art has always given people energy, and the idea of bringing art into communities has given them a voice in their community. What we do, or what I've been doing with Sankofa as far as art therapy is concerned, is having communication with the groups of that community, or having public communication with people from a community that I may be scheduled to put a mural in. Mm-hmm. And just find out what they think about themselves, what they think about their community, what they would like people that are like these driving up the street. What do you want them to know about you and your community? Giving them a voice has given them that impetus to proceed in, creating more in their community.
When did you realize that you were more than an artist, but an activist and a powerful voice?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay, that says it all.
It says everything. So, but as growing up in the 60s in Philadelphia, that activism was part of my DNA. And bringing that idea of art being a form, a venue for extending that activism through other communities besides my own has been a passion for a long, long time.
Was there a moment when you realized that, or did it just happen gradually? Or
it's always been there.
It's always been there.
It's always. I've always been an activist, not necessarily through art, but through communication in some way. This is a communication. My family my adult family owned a black newspaper in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That was an activism, getting that message out, getting that unity and that sort of thing. I was the photojournalist for that publication. And then when I came here, and got involved with Sankofa, it was Fine Art Plus. It was instrumental in me to get the Black artists together, to get the Black community together, to get that type of message, that type of energy into existence in, more than what little bit of scraps they may have been getting.
What was the name of that publication?
Ink newspaper.
Ink News. Yeah, because so many of Black newspapers, like back in the day, were instrumental in getting the Black voice out. Like I remember the Pittsburgh Courier, the Chicago Defender, obviously our Cleveland Call and Post. So that was paramount in that.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about the Transformative Art Project and Fund.
Yes.
How did you feel when you received that accolade? I mean, because there were only seven, and I understand there were over 100 applications.
Hundreds with an S. So yes, I was very excited and proud to be one of the 7. I have been doing public art in Cleveland for about a little more than 10 years. So when I put in my application for a public art 6 murals, I wanted to make it much more than just transforming a community. So I have 12 artists. 6 of them are artists who have already done murals in the public realm, and 6 of them are artists in their own right, but may not have necessarily done their own murals. They may have worked with other people, but they didn't do their own. So I have what I call mentor artists and support artists. There are 2 in each team, and there's 6 murals that they produced. So I wanted it to be more than transformative for the community. I wanted it to be transformative for artists' careers in Cleveland.
And what's the title of this project?
Impart 216.
Impart 216.
It's breathing creativity into communities.
Breathing creativity into communities. And how did that initial concept come to you?
Well, as I've said before, I'm an educator. So working with artists, knowing that there's in Cleveland, the Black arts support system may be a little lacking for African American artists or for ethnic artists. So I wanted to, one, bring focus to their abilities, to train them in this type of medium, and to just make, different communities aware that this type of thing could happen.
So what impact do you hope that this project will have on the city of Cleveland?
I'm glad you asked that. What the reason I really got involved in Mount Pleasant in particular was because driving through Mount Pleasant, there was just no art, there was no life, there was no color. And of course, as an art therapist, color is primary. So to speak to the CDC of Mount Pleasant, to talk to them about their strategic plan that they're developing, to try to understand what their vision was. I want this to be a spark towards that vision. So to actually build up the area for retail, to bring it back to kind of where it used to be, because this used to be a vibrant intersection. So I wanted to bring attention back to that, to focus on this, future of this intersection, bring community back, which we did on Saturday. We had a big block party, so to speak, and just have that attention brought back to this intersection. I really would like to be able to use this project as a catalyst for other projects of this type in different parts of the city.
How many murals are there in this project, Impart 216?
There are 6 murals.
Okay, and where are they located at?
They're all on the intersection of East 140th, but at the point where Kinsman and Union meet. The reason that this has been a 13-month project, so it didn't just happen overnight. So during that time, we had to meet with the community, do a lot of community engagement. We also had to repair the walls in order for these murals to be painted in the first place. So a lot of these buildings, several of these buildings were vacant. We had to track down the owners. We had to get permissions and contracts by the owners. And we had to tuck point many walls. We had to actually literally repair the walls, power wash and all that stuff before the walls can be done.
And what was some of the collaborations? Because I think that was a part of the application. You had to collaborate with
Yes. So we had to, I'm the lead artist, but we also had an institutional partner. Each of the lead artists had to have an institutional partner, and our institutional partner is Ingenuity Cleveland.
Ingenuity Cleveland.
So I have personally been working with them on many, many projects. So it was just a natural fit. And the fact that they do this type of work themselves in many ways. So it just worked well together.
What have been some of the responses for Impart 216 that you've gotten?
From the
community, yes.
The community has been wonderful. They, of course, at first, when we were first presenting the idea in the community engagement, they were skeptical because this community has been promised so many times, historically promised an uplift, and they've never gotten it. So when we came to them saying this is what we wanted to do, first of all, they were like, yeah, why? You know, you're painting murals on the wall, why? So I had to explain what my vision was to make it a spark, an investment in their future, in what I see their CDC actually progressing to do. After that, and we started the actual work on the walls, they have driven by, given us thumbs up. People have come by and offered water to the artists. As you said, as we saw earlier, somebody walked by saying we did a good job and thank you, I'm so glad you're here. So the community itself has been very welcoming and very helpful.
What impact has this project had on you specifically as a yes? Do you think?
I have been very tired, but other than that, it actually has enriched because, you know, you work in a certain type of situation like a not-for-profit, you're programming, you're doing all of that. Actually coming out into what I would say the field, and working with the community, working with different other artists. By being the lead artist, I'm the one that everything rolls back on. But we've had pivots, we've had several things that we had to change midstream. We had two of our building owners that dropped out last minute. So instead of putting all 6 murals on buildings, we have 2 murals that the library, the Mount Pleasant Library branch, has agreed that we could put those on their windows. So we have 1 mural on the front of the building, and there's going to be another mural on the side of the building.
Were there any specific themes behind the murals?
Another very good question, thank you.
I did my research.
You did, and I appreciate it. Actually, the theme that resonated with the residents more than anything else was the transformation from what the history of Mount Pleasant, what Mount Pleasant used to be, a thriving community, to where it is now. It's been a transformation. It's been a migration of a lot of the residents of Mount Pleasant. So our basic theme has been migration, transformation, reconciliation, and revitalization. So we have, like, for example, we're sitting beside the butterfly mural. So the butterflies represent that. transformation and migration.
right.
Especially these butterflies. So these are the monarch butterflies, and if you know about monarch butterflies, they do come through here and they're on their way to Canada. So, I mean, it's that migration. This one across from us talks about transformation. So you have a sculpture that's turning into a human and transforming that way. Across the street, we have one that has a boy with Legos. And the reason that's on that wall in particular is because that building is being renovated into a school for contractors to teach youth how to work in the contractor industry.
Robin,
Yes.
what role do you believe public art plays in a city like in an urban city like this?
I'm from Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is the mural capital of the country. So I grew up understanding the role that murals and public art play in a community. I'm happy to be a part of that coming into Cleveland. As part of this Impart 216 project, I took all the artists and many of the art support system to Philadelphia for a weekend. And so they got to see firsthand the impact of murals on a metropolitan city. They also saw variations, of mural making. So not just painting on the wall, but mosaics and, different types of murals. So they got exposed to that. Then they came back and they started painting their murals.
What was the selection process for the artists? Because there's so many talented artists in the city of Cleveland.
Yes. They're friends.
Sure. And people that you've worked with.
That I've worked with in the past, people that I knew of their work, so instead of having a big RFQ or RFP, I wanted to work with people that I could trust.
Exactly.
That I knew their work, I knew their work ethic, I knew that we spoke the same language. There were a lot of training components to this project with the artists over that 13 months. So, we actually, I created a cohort where once a month they would get together. We would have workshops so they would learn each other's techniques, as well as just the two that were working on this wall. They would learn how to do the grid system. They would learn how to do projection. They would learn how to do what they call a doodle grid, which is another type of transferred image on the wall. So, it was everybody learned everybody else's style. We had a lot of communication. But so it was important for me when working with that many artists and that many personalities that I understood who these people were.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of working on Impart 216 for you?
The whole thing. The whole thing has been rewarding from one end to the other, from trying to figure out the pivots, trying to work with the individual artists, trying to, understand their needs. And everybody didn't get along all the time.
Right.
You're working with 12 different personalities. But, just being the mother figure, as opposed to a staunch authoritarian. They knew they could come to me if there was an issue, that if they needed anything, they could come to me for that. Having that type of trust in a project to this extent, because this was a large project. So having that type of trust between them, between myself, between Ingenuity, it was all very, very cohesive. It had its ripples, but we came out with a very good product.
What would you say to an emerging artist today who wanted to be successful?
Network. That's the main thing. I mean, especially in Cleveland. I mean, the only thing, and I told somebody this Saturday, they were asking the same question. In Cleveland, especially with Black artists or ethnic artists, because our group is a diverse group, so it's not just African American artists. But working in Cleveland in particular, because Cleveland can be pretty, segmented. You have to network. And once you start networking, your circle starts getting bigger and bigger. You go to different events, you go to art shows and talk to the other artists. And if, once people know you and they know your name and you show them your work, then, it's blossoming. There's so much potential in Cleveland for artists. You just have to build on what you have, build on your infrastructure, build on your circle of influence, because, and Sankofa Fine Art Plus is a good starting place, So that's a plus. But
in the Glenville area.
Exactly. And just build on who you know, what you know. And artists, I have found that artists in Cleveland are very, very genuine and generous. So, if you ask somebody, well, how did you do that? They're going to show you, or they're going to tell you, or they're going to put you in a direction where you can find out. So, it's a family. You just have to know who to talk to and where.
What's next for Robin Robinson?
A long nap. But besides that, it's like I said, this has been a 13-month project. So I have leaned very hard on my board of directors while I was doing this. It's time for me to go back to work. It's time for me to pick Sankofa back up and, build it back up. I have programming that needs to be arranged for the fall. So there's a lot to do. So, as far as I'm concerned, I never stop. It's always something. This was something that was, dropped on me, so to speak. I did apply, I did receive it, but, it has taken the whole year. It's time to go back to real life.
Incredible story, incredible job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So that's it, Cleveland. We're out. But remember, a true artist does not only inspire, but inspires others. I'm Cornell Calhoun III for TV 20 and Creative Focus. Until the next time becomes our time, be well, be safe.